One of the most important concepts in occupational health and safety law is the General Duty Clause. Think of the General Duty Clause as the foundation of workplace safety legislation. It acts as a broad legal requirement that obligates employers to provide a safe and healthy workplace even when there is no specific regulation covering a particular hazard. In the United States, the General Duty Clause is found in the Occupational Safety and Health Act, often referred to as OSHA. It requires employers to provide a workplace that is free from recognized hazards that are causing or are likely to cause death or serious physical harm to employees. Although the wording varies from jurisdiction to jurisdiction, similar principles exist across Canada. Provincial occupational health and safety laws generally require employers to take all reasonable precautions to protect the health and safety of workers. So why is the General Duty Clause so important? The answer is simple. No set of regulations can predict every possible workplace hazard. Governments may create thousands of specific safety rules covering machinery, chemicals, fall protection, confined spaces, and countless other risks. But new hazards emerge all the time, and some workplace situations simply don't fit neatly into an existing regulation. The General Duty Clause fills those gaps. It essentially says that even if there isn't a specific rule telling an employer what to do, they still have a responsibility to protect workers from known and foreseeable hazards. Traditionally, this clause was applied to physical hazards. These included unsafe machinery, poor ventilation, hazardous chemicals, dangerous work practices, or defective equipment. However, the definition of workplace hazards has expanded significantly over the years. Today, regulators increasingly recognize psychological hazards as workplace safety issues. Workplace violence, harassment, bullying, threats, and other forms of psychological harm may all fall within an employer's duty to provide a safe work environment. In practical terms, this means that employers cannot ignore a toxic workplace culture simply because no one has been physically injured. If employees are exposed to serious psychological risks, the organization may still have legal obligations to investigate and take corrective action. One of the most significant impacts of the General Duty Clause is how it affects workplace investigations. Under normal circumstances, an employer may have discretion about whether to investigate a minor workplace issue. But once a recognized safety hazard is identified, the situation changes. The duty to act is triggered as soon as the employer becomes reasonably aware of the hazard. This awareness can come from many different sources. It could be a formal complaint, a verbal report, an anonymous tip, a witness statement, or something observed directly by a supervisor or manager. The key point is that employers cannot ignore information simply because it was received informally. Once management knows, or reasonably should know, about a potential hazard, they are expected to take action. For example, imagine that several employees report concerns that a coworker has made threatening comments and appears increasingly aggressive. If management ignores those warning signs and the employee later harms someone, regulators and courts may conclude that the risk was foreseeable. In such cases, the organization may be found to have violated its general duty to protect workers. This is why workplace investigations are such an important part of health and safety compliance. Investigations allow employers to identify hazards, assess risks, determine root causes, and implement corrective actions before someone gets hurt. When employers respond promptly and appropriately, they can often demonstrate that they fulfilled their legal obligations. A timely investigation, combined with reasonable corrective measures, can provide strong evidence that the organization acted responsibly. On the other hand, failing to investigate can create serious legal consequences. Regulatory agencies may issue orders, penalties, or substantial fines. Employers may also face claims of negligent supervision or negligent retention if they knew about a foreseeable risk and failed to act. In some cases, courts have awarded significant damages where employers ignored known safety concerns, workplace violence risks, or repeated harassment complaints. It's important to remember, however, that the General Duty Clause does not require perfection. Employers are not expected to eliminate every possible risk or guarantee that accidents will never occur. Instead, the law expects employers to act reasonably, in good faith, and with due diligence when hazards are identified. For workplace investigators, the General Duty Clause serves as an important reminder that investigations are not simply administrative exercises. They are often a key part of an employer's legal duty to protect workers from harm. By recognizing hazards, responding promptly, and conducting thorough investigations, organizations can not only comply with the law, but also create safer, healthier, and more respectful workplaces for everyone.